Is my PPT visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So already we have learned about this breakdown mechanisms in a normal diode, PN junction diode, where we are seeing that in the reverse bias condition, initially there will not be much current. Even the current will be very small in the range of microamperes or nanoamperes. And if you are going to further increase the reverse voltage, then there will be a breakdown. So breakdown can be avalanche breakdown or breakdown can be a Zener breakdown. Okay, so avalanche breakdown occurs at a higher voltage, whereas Zener breakdown occurs at a lower voltage. And avalanche breakdown is basically due to the thermal agitation. Okay, it's because of the thermal, it's more or less a thermal breakdown, which they gain the kinetic energy, whereas in Zener is basically due to the electrostatic field, okay, intensity. And Zener breakdown occurs specifically in a condition where layer is narrow, okay, because your E equal to V by D, right? So when this D is very narrow, when this depletion region width is very narrow, then only your electric field intensity will be very high. Okay, so in that case only your Zener breakdown is said to be occur. Okay, and once the breakdown has occurred, your current will suddenly rise, steeply rise. So in ideal condition I can say that the current rises almost increases linearly irrespective of the change in voltage. So even if you are not going to increase the voltage, even then your current is going to increase. So your current increase is at a given particular voltage. So as if your Zener diode in a Zener breakdown mechanism, your voltage will remain constant at Vz, whereas your current is going to steeply increase. Okay, so this Zener phenomenon can be observed only in a special type of diodes called Zener diode. Okay, so these are special diode. It's a special diode. Okay, so this special diode, so what's the specialty in the construction wise is that we have a very heavy doping concentration. So your diode will be heavily doped. So this condition is to be satisfied. So only in heavily doped conditions, your depletion region will be very narrow, and then your electric field intensity will be very high in order to cause your Zener breakdown mechanism. Okay, so these Zener diodes are named after Clarence Melvin Zener of Bell Laboratories, who discovered this specific electrical property. Okay, so once it is heavily doped, large number of free electrons and holes are created, which will conduct the current. So current conduction, whether it's a Zener diode or the normal PN junction diode, in reverse bias always the current conduction is only due to the minority carriers. So minority carriers are your electrons in the p side and holes on the n side. Okay, so these diodes are designed to have breakdown characteristics that are very steep. So steep in the sense that your your if you see the current versus voltage characteristics, okay, so this is almost a vertical. It's a vertical line parallel to your y-axis. So almost your voltage is not changing much. Okay, this steep. So depending upon the requirement, we have Zener diodes are different specifications. So for a Zener diode, usually we'll specify the maximum current that it can allow. Also we can have a minimum current, so that the Zener diode will be operated in the reverse bias condition. We can have also have the maximum power dissipation. Okay, so Zener diodes can be have different voltage range. VZ can be have a small value like 2.4 volts or can have a large value like 200 volts. Okay, it all depends upon the dope, what type of material you are, base material you are taking, what are the doping concentrations and all those things. So we are not much focused on the construction part. However, today we will be discussing morely about the specialty of this Zener diode, which is that your voltage across the Zener diode in a breakdown condition will always remain constant. Okay, So this breakdown voltage across the Zener diode remains fairly constant. Okay, so this special attribute of the Zener diode will be utilized in a application called voltage regulator. Okay, however, we cannot have unlimited current through the Zener diode. Okay, so we need to regulate, we need to have some kind of limitation of for this current, because as the current passes through the Zener diode, you will have a, definitely you will have a heat generation will be there, and you will have a power loss across this Zener diode obviously, and then after some time your Zener diode becomes so much heated up that uh, it will be permanently damaged. Okay, so we'll have a reverse current limited by the wattage rate. So only you can have a maximum power rating can be given. So usually it is denoted by PZ max. Similarly you will have a IZ max. So you cannot have a Zener diode in a circuit where current through the Zener diode is above this IZ max, or in some books they will write IZ capital M. For IZ minimum they will write IZ small. It depends. So in my presentation I'll be always using IZ max and IZ minimum to specify minimum and maximum currents. Okay, so Zener diodes can characterized by power dissipation, working voltage, forward current, forward voltage, packaging type, maximum reverse current. So there are different specifications are there. So these are things you can read from the directly from the PPT. There is not much thing to discuss over there. Only thing you need to know that we need to have the power dissipation such that they indicate the safe operating range. So you should operate the Zener diode only depending upon those PZ max values or the IZ max values. You cannot use it beyond the ranges. Okay, and coming to the symbol, so symbol of your normal diode is simply you will write a triangle and you will write a vertical line, right? So this is your anode, this is your cathode. Whereas for a Zener diode you will be writing a jet-like structure over here. Okay, this is your anode, cathode. This will be your Zener diode. Okay, so in a forward bias your Zener diode acts more or less like a normal PN junction diode. Okay, so you need not go for a Zener diode if you want to use a diode in a forward bias condition. So because there is not much difference between a normal working diode and the Zener diode. So we are usually specifically using the Zener diode only in the reverse bias condition. So always you will connect a Zener diode in the circuit mostly in the reverse bias conditions, and also in such a way that your voltage across the diode is such that your Zener diode enters into the breakdown region. Okay, so your voltage should be in such a, should be at least such that your diode will enter into the breakdown region. So usually two conditions has to be satisfied. First condition is that it should be in reverse bias, and the second condition is that it should work in breakdown region. So usually these two conditions has to be satisfied. Okay, and the voltage at which this breakdown occurs is called as the breakdown voltage or the knee voltage. Okay, so this knee voltage, the current will be almost around 10% of your IZ max. So if you see this IZ at this point, this current will be almost 10% of your maximum I. So this I cannot have a unlimited range. Okay, this I will be limited. So this I will be limited by having some kind of a low current limiting resistors. Okay, we should ensure that current cannot exceed the maximum value. Now coming to the applications, so most of them time your Zener diode is acting like your voltage regulator. So they are always called as a voltage reference diodes. So reference diodes means you are going to after you are keeping this Zener diode across a Zener diode, your voltage will be a constant voltage. So that voltage can be taken as a reference voltage. Okay, that's why they are called as voltage reference diodes. And then they can also be used as surge suppressors for device protection. So if you want to protect a device to ensure that the voltage across the device does not go beyond a particular level, you can use that. So Zener diodes can also be used in clipping circuits. So till now we have in the clipping circuit we have used the normal PN junction diode. So if required we may also use Zener diodes also. As of now we will not be discussing about that application. And then in also you can use in switching operations and reference elements. Okay. Now specifically we in our syllabus we will be discussing regarding this particular application called voltage regulator. So voltage regulation means what is regulation? First we need to know what is regulation. So what is regulation? Does anybody have any idea what is regulation in general sense?
Constant voltage.
Constant voltage. Okay. Anybody else or no? So somebody else tell. So one
Controlling.
constant voltage. Okay. Second one is controlling. Okay. Any other ideas? You may respond. So whatever comes to your mind, you can just simply tell. Not an issue. Whether it's right or wrong, we will discuss later. Please respond if you are having any other kind of idea regarding this regulation. You not be specifically telling about voltage regulation. You can tell anything about a regulation. What? So for example, you have some kind of your syllabus regulation is also there. You have a fan regulator
Manage.
managing. Okay. Okay, so we'll stop it here. So in general sense, regulation means that as somebody has pointed in layman terms, there is some kind of control or a management. There should be some kind of range, fixed range. Okay, so for example, if you take a fan, your fan will have some kind of minimum speed with which it has to rotate, and you will have a maximum speed, right? So when you are changing this regulation, when you're changing the speed, what happens? Obviously current drawn from the power supply will be increasing. If you're running the fan at a higher speed, you may draw a larger current, right? uh, so as I already told you, in electrical sense, mostly load implies load current. It means the current drawn by. So load does not usually mean a simple resistor. It might imply a current drawn by the resistor, or the current drawn by the inductor, or the current drawn by the capacitor. Okay, so load in practical sense implies current drawn by the load. Okay, so when we have two conditions, when there is no load, so there is usually in your lab experiments you'll be talking about no load condition or full load condition. So no load condition means that the current through the load is zero. Okay, so no load condition we have, and then full load condition. Okay, so when we are moving from no load to full load, that is IL is 0 to IL is equal to, let us say that IL max. Okay, so when we are moving like this, what you will be observing is that there will be a drop in voltage usually, because if you are increasing the current from a constant power source, there will be a drop. What will be a drop? What will be a drop? Usually voltage is equal to,
Yes.
for example, terminal voltage is equal to I into R, let us say that. Okay, so if the resistor is fixed but the current drawn from the resistor is higher, so what happens? Your voltage will be dropping. So that's why what happens, the house is far away from the transformer will be observing low voltage, because in the by the time the voltage is reached to your house, what happens? There in between you have number of houses in between who are going to utilize the current. So as the current is increasing, what happens? There will be voltage drop across the section of your line, distribution line, and the last, the house at the end of the line will get a lower voltage. Okay, this voltage should not be too low. Okay, so for that we'll have some kind of a term called regulation or control. So usually we should ensure that this voltage should be between some limits, like, so let us say 10, plus or minus 10%. Okay, it means that if you are telling 230 volts, if you want a supply of 230 volts, so either you can have a high voltage of 230 into 1.1 volt, or a low voltage, so this is acceptable. So if your supplier is providing a voltage less than this voltage or greater than this voltage, okay, your equipment will not work properly. Usually your equipment are usually designed such that they can work in between this 90% of the nominal voltage, or the 110% of your rated voltage. Okay, so in between this only your equipments work properly. Otherwise they get damaged. If you are having very high voltage, sometimes you may observe that if your house is very near to a transformer, you will observe this high voltage condition, in which obviously some of you might have observed that some of the fans get burnt or TV gets spoiled. Okay, so always we should ensure that the voltage should be in limits. Okay, this voltage term will coin a term called regulation for this voltage, in which the change is from V no load to V full load. Okay, into 100 if you express as a percentage. So change in voltage from no load to full load. So when you have no load connector, you obviously observe a higher voltage. When you're connecting a load, when you're drawing some current, your voltage will drop to some extent. This change in voltage expressed as a percentage is said to be the regulation. Usually, ideally speaking, there should not be any change. Whether you're connecting no load or you're connecting a very high load, it should not affect the voltage levels. Voltage should always remain, for me, ideally speaking. So whether I connect a fan or a AC or a tube light or a grinder or washing machine, irrespective of my connected load, I expect my voltage to be at 230 volts, right? So ideally, I should have, whether it is no load, I should have 230 volts. Whether it is full load, I should have 230 volts. Okay. So ideally, regulation should be as low as possible, or I can say that it should be zero. Regulation should be as low as possible, whereas efficiency of any machine should be as high as possible. Efficiency should be 100%, whereas regulation should be zero. Okay. So in the context of GNAT diode, when you're talking about voltage regulation, we'll try to provide this zero regulation. Means irrespective of the load conditions, we should try to maintain the voltage across the load as constant. Okay, that is our motto. It means that we should provide a constant voltage irrespective of the current drawn by the load. Okay, so for this we'll be using the GNAT diode in parallel to the load resistor. So always we'll be keeping the GNAT diode in parallel with the load resistor. Okay, so irrespective of the current drawn by the load, we should ensure that voltage is maintained constant, because if you're keeping a GNAT diode in breakdown region in parallel to the load resistor, you know that in parallel circuit your voltage is the same across the branches, right? If the GNAT diode is in breakdown region, your voltage across your GNAT diode will be equal to the constant voltage Vz, so that your V0 will also be equal to Vz. So in this manner, you are going to fix the voltage across your load terminals. Okay, so in this, that's why we are calling it as a voltage regulation. So regulation means that there should not be any change in voltage from no load condition to full load condition. Okay, so regulation is nothing but percentage change in voltage as we move from no load to full load. Okay, so let us see the working of a GNAT diode in the as a voltage regulator. So this is how you are going to connect your GNAT diode. So you can see that anode is connected to the ground, so it's ground, and your cathode is over here. This is your GNAT diode, and you have an unregulated input supply, so you may have a voltage change. Okay, so however, across the output terminals, so across these terminals, your voltage should be a regulated voltage. Okay, so now you have two branches for the current to flow. So if the supply current is I1, you have this breakdown of current. So you have your I1 is equal to I2 plus IZ, isn't it? If you apply your KCL at this node, right? Okay. So can you, is whatever I'm writing is visible to you or not? Please respond.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if I want to have a V naught constant voltage VJet, so what I need to have, I need to throw this Zener diode into the breakdown region. Okay, so I should always ensure that the voltage across this Zener diode is at VJet. Okay, so let us consider initially. So your diode is already in the breakdown region. Okay, now what will be the voltage across your output terminals? V naught will be equal to Vz. Okay, and then now your currents will be I1 equal to I2 plus Iz, in which now let us say that your voltage source is increasing, your voltage Vs has increased to some extent. So because your voltage source has increased, what happens? Current drawn from the source will also increase. If you are increasing the voltage, what happens? Your current will also increase. So if Vs is increasing, obviously your I1 will increase, right? If your I1 will increase, this increase in voltage, say is increase in current, should be should be should be shared by both these two parallel branches. So if there is a change in I1, either I2 should be increased or IZ should be increased, or both of this current should be increased. Okay, so what actually happens in a voltage regulator circuit is that your I2 will remain the same, whereas your IZ will increase. Okay, so whenever this I1 is increasing, it will result in increase in the Zener current. So such that always your voltage, the current drawn by the load will be I2. Okay, so always your output will be V naught equal to I2 or L equal to Vz. Okay, so likewise, so whenever you are seeing any changes in current, similarly if you are changing, if you are observing a drop in a source voltage, if your source voltage is decreasing, now value is decreasing, now obviously your current I1 will be decreasing. In that condition, I1 is going to decrease, I2 is remaining constant, whereas your Zener current is going to decrease. Okay, so whatever the changes are there, see any changes across the load terminals, you will not see any changes. Hello, am I audible? Please test.
Yes, sir.
Because
Yes, sir. You're right.
actually there's a power disruption, that's why I was asking you. Okay, so let me check. Okay, am I connected back to the class? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so across your load terminals, always your voltage should remain the same. That's what we mean by the voltage regulation. Okay, so for this, we had three different cases are there. So we shall see these cases. For example, first let us check this case. So first we shall take this example. Now you need to do this Zener current. We have to find out the Zener current power dissipated across this Zener diode. So if you have pen and paper and calculator, you keep it aside and get ready. So you can see that you have a voltage source 18 volts, right? So this voltage source 18 volts is there, and you have a load resistor 1 kilowatt, and they have given the IZ max. So usually in your diode specification sheet that you get, they'll mention the maximum current to the Zener diode. They'll mention also, they'll mention the Zener voltage. Zener voltage is given as 10 volts. Okay, so if this has to be satisfied, if this current uh, if this general voltage has to be remain at 10 volts, two things should be there. One thing is that the first thing you should observe is that the voltage across your Zener diode, the voltage across your Zener diode. So let us say there is terminal A and B. This VAB should always be greater than your VZ. Okay. So then only your diode will remain in the breakdown region. Okay. So for that, what we can do is we need to find out the VAB value. How can we find out the VAB value? How can you find out the VAB value? First, we need to find out the what we can do Thevenin's
Current.
voltage. First, we need to find out the Thevenin's voltage. So you should first tell me the Thevenin's voltage V Thevenin across the terminals A and B. So you should think that initially your diode is not connected. So your circuit will now become. So if you want to find out the Thevenin's voltage, you should find out across A B. You should find out the voltage. Okay. First find out whether this Thevenin's voltage. So only when this voltage is greater than your general voltage, then only you can have this diode in the breakdown region. So tell me the what is your VAB value? It's a series circuit. You have 18 volts, you have R1, you have R2. So what happens? What is your voltage across AB?
Voltage division.
Voltage division rule. So voltage across VAB equal to you have RL by, so I will call it as RS. Okay, RS plus RL into VS. Okay. So what is RL? RL value? RL value is 1000 ohms. RS is 250 plus RL is again 1000 into 18 volts. Okay. So 1000 by 1250 into 80. Tell me the value.
14.5.
How much?
14.5.
14.4. Okay. So I believe that it is true. So because this voltage is greater than your VZ, what is the VZ given? 10 volts. This is greater than 10 volts. So I can confidently say that your diode is in breakdown region. In case if you get the condition such that this voltage is not 14.4, let us say that it is some around of 8 volts or 7 volts, then this diode will not be in the breakdown region. Okay, so first thing you should ensure is that whether your diode is in breakdown region or not. Okay, so now because we are getting 14.4 volts, your diode is in breakdown region. Okay, now you need to find out the Zener current. Okay, so because you have the Zener voltage of 10 volts, I can now say that across your load terminals, what will your voltage? Across the load terminals, it is 10 volts.
10
Now, right now I can now write as source current Is, this as Iz, this has load current IL. Now IL is equal to Vz by RL equal to 10 volts by 1 kilo ohm. So what is your IL value? What's your IL value?
1 milliamp. 1
10
milliamp.
by 10 by 1000. So it is 10 milliamps. Okay, it is not 1 milli, it's 10 milliamps. Okay. Now I have 10 milliamps flowing here. Now I need to find out the IS value. What is IS value? This your VZ. This terminal is at VZ. Okay, this is at VS. So what is IS value? IS is equal to VS minus VZ by RS. So VS is 18 volts minus VZ is at 10 volts by RS is at, what's RS value? Is 250 ohms. Okay. So what is IS value? Now 8 by 250. Okay. I'll multiply and divide by 1000. 254, sir. So it is 32 milliamperes. So this IS is equal to 32 milliamperes. Now from KCL, you know that IS is equal to IZ plus IL. So 32 milliamps is equal to IZ plus 10 milliamps. So what will be your IZ value? IZ value will be equal to 32 minus 10, that is equal to 22 milliamperes. Okay, so current through this Zener diode is equal to 22 milliamperes. This current is less than your maximum current specified. Okay, so this, what are the answers that we are getting is correct. Okay, so what is the current through the Zener, or the Zener current that is asked in the question? That is equal to 22 milliamperes. Now we are also asked the power dissipated across the Zener diode. Now what is the power dissipation? Power dissipation PZ is equal to VZ into IZ. It's a voltage into the current. So voltage across the diode into the current. This will be the power dissipated or the power lost across your Zener diode. So what is VZ value? VZ value is equal to 10 volts. IZ value is equal to 22 milliamperes. So this value is equal to 220 milliwatt. So VA, you can write it as a watt. Okay, so your power dissipate is equal to 220 milliwatt. Did you understand this example, or if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Please respond. If you have any doubts regarding this example, you can ask. So now you know. So what's the first thing you should do? You should find out the voltage across your Zener diode. So by taking it that Thevenin's equivalent. Okay, so you need to find out the Thevenin's voltage across this terminals A and B, or that across your Zener diode. And if this voltage is greater than your Zener breakdown voltage, then only your Zener diode will be in the breakdown region. Then only the voltage will remain constant. Okay, otherwise your voltage will not remain constant. Okay, and then we are simply doing your network analysis only. Everything else what I have done is simple network analysis. We are using your nodal analysis, or okay, at every node we are finding out this current. Okay, so if you have any specific doubt, you can unmute and ask me. Yeah, otherwise you will say no, and then I will
Sir,
proceed to the next. Ask
sir,
me. Tell me.
at lower voltage or at while decreasing voltage, the Zener diode will not work, sir.
Uh, yes, if you're having a too much of lower voltage, then what happens? IZ will be very low. So you have seen that. So if you see in the previous curve, I'll show you this. So if you see this, only this region only your Zener diode will works as your voltage regulator. Okay. So below this, if your current is below this breakdown region, if your current is lower than this value, what happens? Your diode is not in the breakdown region. Okay. Only small current will happen. It will operate according to the voltage supplied. Only once the current crosses this breakdown region, once at a VZ, this point or the knee point, then only irrespective of the current, your voltage will remain the constant. Okay, so you should have a, for a Zener diode you should have a IZ minimum, you will have also have a IZ maximum. Okay, IZ minimum is to secure that your diode is in breakdown region. So IZ minimum will let you know whether your diode is in breakdown region or not. So IZ maximum is only to ensure that your diode is not getting damaged. So IZ max you will limit by means of your other circuit parameters, like you have a RS, right? So your RS is kept only to ensure that no dangerous current will flow through the Zener diode. Okay, so within this limits of IZ minimum to IZ maximum, you can have any current of your choice. So irrespective of within these ranges, if your voltage is changing, okay, such that your IZ is between IZ minimum and IZ maximum, Okay, if you can have a either increase in voltage or a decrease in voltage, but such that current through the diode is between these two ranges, IZ minimum and IZ max. Then only you can have a constant voltage across your load terminals. Otherwise, it will not have. If the current is below the IZ minimum, your diode will not be in the breakdown region. If the current is greater than your IZ max, then your diode is going to get burnt, and you have to replace that. Okay. So any other doubt? Did you understand this example? If you have any other doubt, you can ask me. If not, if you do not have any doubts, I will proceed to the next topic. Please say yes or no. Or if you want to again settle for 1 or 2 minutes, I will wait for you to respond.
No doubts, sir.
No doubt.
Okay, okay, fine. So we have three different cases are there. So we will consider the cases when your load resistor is varying. So we'll have usually three cases. So we should consider this voltage regulator operation, whether it's working properly or not, for three cases. One is your load is varying. The other case can be your voltage source is varying. And the third case can be when your series resistance included in the circuit is varying or not. So these are the three properties that can vary. So in all these three instances, you should ensure that your load voltage should maintain constant. Okay. So we cannot vary the load uh, like our choice. Your RL should be within some limits. Okay, these limits we need to determine now. Okay, so between which ranges your RL can be varying, or between which ranges your VS can be varying. So what I mean to say that your GNR diode is going to work properly as a voltage regulator only when your RL is between some uh, RL minimum and RL maximum. Okay. Similarly, you can have your voltage source is also can be changing its value, but it cannot completely so out of range. Okay. So it should be between some VS minimum or VS. Okay, you cannot have a one single GNR diode and it can which can operate for all ranges of your voltages. Okay, so for everything there will be some limits. Within that limit, it can ensure that your voltage will be output voltage will be constant. Similarly, your RS can have some limitations. So RS minimum and RS maximum. So we will be determining three different cases. The first case that we are going to see is when the load is varying. So in this circuit, we'll assume that only RL is varying, your VS and RS are remaining constant. Okay. So I'll erase this whatever I have written. Okay. So initially your RL is only varying. Okay. So when your RS is varying, what we are going to do is that again we'll go back to the Thevenin's voltage. Now you give me the prompt and then I will write. So what will be the Thevenin's voltage? So Thevenin's voltage means you have to open these terminals and you have to find out the Thevenin's voltage across these terminals. So you need to give me with the prompt, then only I'm going to write. Tell me.
VS into RL by RL
What?
plus R.
So V Thevenin equal to Vs into
VS
RL,
to
RL by RL plus
RS,
RL plus RS.
RL plus
Okay, this is your
RS.
Thevenin's voltage. This Thevenin's voltage should be greater than your GNR breakdown voltage. Okay, so this V Thevenin should be greater than your VZ. Okay, so for this to happen, what's the minimum condition that I require? What's the minimum condition I should have? So when RL is minimum, your voltage should be equal to VZ. When RL is maximum, then also you should be equal to VZ, right? So can I write like this condition? that in place of RL, I'll be substituting a RL minimum such that your VThevenin is just equal to your VZ. So I have condition greater than or equal to. So when RL is equal to RL minimum, I can write it as VThevenin is equal to VZ. Okay, it's a minimum condition. So VThevenin minimum should be equal to VZ. Okay, so Vs into RL minimum by RL minimum plus Rs is equal to Vz. Okay, now you need to, what you need to do is you need to bring all the RL minimum terms to one side. Okay, that I will be doing now. Vs into RL minimum equal to Vz into RL minimum plus Vz into Rs. Okay, so if you bring the RL minimum terms to one side, so it is Vs minus Vz. So from this, what you are getting, you're getting RL minimum is equal to, what you're getting, Rs into Vz by Vs minus Vz. Okay, this is the condition that you are getting. So did you get this condition? Do you have any doubts till here? You can ask, or otherwise I'll be moving on. So your resistance, load resistance should be at least of this value. RL minimum should be at least equal to Rs into Vz by Vs minus Vz value. Okay, so here in this case I'm considering Vs as constant, Rs as constant. Okay, that you need to keep in mind. Okay, so this is a minimum load resistance that I can have in my circuit. Similarly, I need to find out what happens when there is a maximum load resistance. Okay, so this you write it on a paper because I'm going to erase this slide. Okay, so I'll give you 2 minutes for you to write it down because I'm going to erase this slide. So once you are finished, you give me a prompt so that I can start for the RL max. This is what happens. So if you want to change anything, everything will be discarded. Have you noted down?
One more minute, sir.
Okay, okay, fine. So I may extend the class for 10 more minutes if required. So in order to ensure that all the topics are covered. So at least I can say that your unit 1 is completed by today. Okay. I hope it is completed. I'm going to discard this. Okay, is it completed?
Over, sir.
Okay, fine. So now I need to discuss regarding what happens when there's a maximum resistance. Okay, so let us say that RL is equal to RL max. If RL is equal to RL max, then what happens? So when you have a large resistance over here, what will be the current of the resistor? It will be a large current or a small current? When you have a large resistance
Small
through a
current.
branch, small current. So what happens if RL is equal to RL max? Your IL is equal to your minimum current. Okay, so what is this IL minimum value? is equal to VL load terminal voltage by your RL max. So what is your load terminal voltage when you have a GNR connected? It is equal to VZ. Okay. So your IL is equal to VZ by RL max. This will be your IL minimum. Okay. Now similarly, you should tell me what is your IS value. This IS, IL, IZ. Okay. So this is voltage VZ. Okay. What will be your IS value? IS value will be equal to Vs minus Vz by Rs. Okay. Now I told you that when the you are not going to have any much change in the IS value. If there are any changes in the IS value, that will be you can see across your either across your GNR current or through your load current. Okay, so here because you are changing the load resistance value, your load current is going to decrease, right? So if your load current is decreasing, still your IZ will be increasing. So this reduction in the load current will be compensated by the increase in the IZ. Okay, so what will be your IZ value now? So IZ value will be equal to, so you know that IS is equal to IZ plus IL, right? So what happens when you have this maximum resistance in the load circuit? What will be your IZ value? IZ value will be equal to IS minus IL. Okay, IZ is equal to IS minus IL. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to replace this value. So IZ will be equal to, when you have IL as minimum current, your IZ will be a maximum current. So IZ will be equal to IZ max. Okay, so this will be specified by the manufacturer sheet. Like in previous question, we have seen that they are given at 50 milliamperes as IZ max in the previous example. So IZ max will be specified. Now you will be writing it as IS minus IL minimum. Okay, so IZ max is equal to IS, you will replace the value. What is IS value? You are getting Vs minus Vz by Rs minus IL minimum is Vz by RL max. Okay, so IZ is equal to these things. Now you need to separate this RL max to one side. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be writing Vz by RL max. I'll bring it to left hand side. So it will be Vs minus Vz by Rs minus IZ max. Okay, now it implies Vz is equal to you can take the LCM Vs minus Vz minus IZ max. So Vz by RL max equal to by RL. Okay, so from this I'll take down from here. So what will be RL max now? So RL max will now will be equal to, so if I bring it to the numerator, I'll crisscross and multiply. So this will be equal to Rs into Vz. So I'm bringing this to the numerator. Okay, Rs into Vz, and then I'm bringing all this term to the denominator. Okay, so this will be equal to Vs minus Vz minus, so Vs, so sorry, here did I forgot to multiply, IZ max into Rs. Okay, this will be your RL max value. Okay, so I'll rewrite it here. So RL max value is equal to Rs into Vz divided by Vs minus Vz minus IZ max into Rs. Okay, so in this R is your circuit resistance which is given in the question. Your VZ is a diode general diode voltage. Your IZ max is also given in the question. In the question, your IZ max will be given. Okay, so you'll have your RL max. So RL can vary only between your RL minimum and RL maximum. Okay, so let us consider an example question. Okay, so in this example, okay, so you need to write or what?
సార్ అక్కడ ఐఎల్ మాక్సిమం అక్కడ కౌంట్ చేయలేం సార్, ఐఎల్ మినిమం తీసుకున్నాం.
You have RL as maximum, right? We are taking that load resistance is maximum. So you know that current is inversely proportional to the resistance. So if the resistance is large, the current will be low. So that's why when I'm taking in maximum resistance, I'm taking current as minimum current. If I take an RL is equal to RL minimum, I can consider IL as IL maximum. Okay. Because the resistance and current are inversely proportional. That's the only thing I have written. Okay. So any other doubt you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll move on to the example question. So in this question, you have to find out the minimum and maximum value of your load resistance. Your load resistance is going to vary. So in the question, they have mentioned the Vs value as 10 volts and Rs as 100 ohms. Your IZ maximum is given as 30 milliamperes and GNR voltage is given as 5 volts. Okay, you need to find out the RL minimum value. So what is your RL minimum value? So if you remember, even if you do not remember, you can go back and see here your RL minimum. So I think you have noted down. What's RL minimum value? RL minimum value is equal to your Rs into Vz by Vs minus Vz. Right? You have already derived that. Okay. So your RL. So what is your Rs value? Rs value is 100. This is your Vs value. This is your IZ max. This is your Vz. Okay, so Rs is 100 ohms into Vz is 5 volts divided by Vs minus Vz, 10 minus 5. Okay, so 5 gets cancelled. So RL minimum is 100 ohms. Similarly, RL max value. So what is RL max value that we have got? Rs into Vz divided by, we are writing Vs minus Vz minus Iz max into Rs. Okay, so we'll replace the values. What is Rs value? 100 ohms into Vz value is 5 volts divided by 10 minus 5. Vs is 10 volts. 10 minus 5 minus Iz max is 30 milliamperes. That 30 into 10 minus 3 into Rs value is again 100. Okay, so this is 3 zeros and 10 per minus 3 get cancelled. So RL max is equal to 500 divided by 5 minus 3. So this is 2. So 2 wins. So you can have maximum 250 ohms in the circuit. So RL can vary between 100 ohms to 250 ohms. So you cannot have a load resistance less than 100 ohms. You cannot have a load resistance greater than 250 ohms. Okay. So in your main examination, your semester exam, or in mid examinations, you may get across numerical problems. Okay. So for this, you need to have the derivation at hand. The concept is very simple. The only thing is that you should ensure that your diode is in the breakdown region, and then you will be doing the circuit analysis part. So you will be finding out the Thevenin's voltage, and Thevenin's voltage should be always greater than Vz. So using this, or you can have your KCL at the node. Here you can have a KCL. Is is equal to Iz plus IL. Only these two equations you are going to use. You will get any other term. Okay. So next case is source voltage is varying. So here RL is constant, your RS is constant, your source voltage is going to vary, this variable value. Okay, so you know what we need to find out? We need to find out what is the minimum voltage you can have in the circuit, what's the maximum voltage you can have in the circuit, right? What's the Vs minimum value, what is the Vs maximum value you can have in the circuit. Okay, so now what we will be doing, again we will be finding out the Thevenin's voltage. What is the Thevenin's voltage? Thevenin's voltage is equal to Vs into RL by Rs plus RL. This should be greater than or equal to Vz. Okay, so if the voltage is minimum, even then your Thevenin's voltage should be at least having the GNR voltage, right? So these are proportional values. If you have to have at least Vz, then what you should have? If Vs is equal to Vs minimum, then your Thevenin's voltage is equal to Vs minimum into RL by Rs plus RL is equal to Vz. It's the minimum condition. Okay, so from this you can find out the Vs minimum. What is the Vs minimum value you can get? Just you can take this value to the other side. So it is equal to Vz into Rs plus RL by RL. So this is the minimum voltage that you should have in your circuit. Okay, for the voltage regulation to happen. Similarly, what you need to find out is Vs maximum value. Okay, so I'll be telling that also. I'll be going for a wide screen. So what I need to find out is Vs max. Okay, again I'll draw the circuit, rough circuit. Vs, Rs, your GNR diode, your load resistor. Okay, Is, Iz, IL. Okay, so if you are having a very large voltage, so let us consider that if Vs equal to Vs max. Okay, so what happens if the voltage is increasing? Naturally, if currents are going to change. Okay, so let us initially think that your diode is in the GNR breakdown region. So what will be your Is value? Is value will be equal to Vs minus Vz, because this voltage is at constant at Vz, by Rs. You keep this aside. Okay, and then because your voltage is Vz and your RL is also constant, here your you will not have any changes in your IL value. Your IL will remain constant because your RL is not changing. In the earlier case, your RL is changing, that's why you have IL minimum and IL maximum values. Whereas here your RL is constant and your Vz is also constant, so your IL will remain constant. So your IL is equal to Vz by RL. This is constant value, unlike the previous case. Okay, now you have the KCL equation. Is is equal to Iz plus IL, right? From this I can write out Iz equal to Is minus IL. So when you have Vs at maximum value, when you have Vs equal to Vs max, your GNR current will increase. So Iz will become Iz max. So it's a maximum permissible current through your GNR diode. Okay, so I'll be replacing Iz with Iz max. So Iz max is equal to, you will be replacing these values now, Vs minus Vz by Rs. So in place of Vs you can write it as Vs max. Okay, minus IL is Vz by R. Now you need to get the expression for Vs max. Okay, so what you can do is you can write Iz max plus I'll take Vz as common 1 by Rs plus 1 by Rl is equal to Vs max into Rs. Okay, so if you take the LCM, Rs plus Rl by Rs Rl equal to Vs max. Please mute yourself. So from this what you are going to get? Iz max into Rs Rl plus Vz into Rs plus Rl by Rs Rl equal to Vs max by Rs. So Rs gets cancelled. So from this you'll be getting uh, Vs max is equal to Iz max into you have RSRL divided by RL. RR get cancelled. So it is Iz max into Rs plus you have Vz into Rs plus RL by R. Okay, this is the term that you are going to get. Okay, so your Vs max is equal to Iz max into Rs plus Vz into Rs plus RL by RL. Okay, this is the maximum current will be of the diode will be mentioned in your question. Okay, so we'll take this example and then we'll stop here. I think it's already 10 minutes is passed, so I'll take the third case in the next class with which we are going to end the first unit. Okay, so I'll end with this example now. So here it is asked to find out the maximum and minimum values of your Vs. Okay, so what I can have in the question, I have Rs value given, Iz max value given, general voltage value given, and then you have your RL value. Okay, so from this I need to find out Vs minimum and Vs maximum. So what is Vs minimum? We have done earlier. Vs minimum is equal to Vz into Rs plus RL by RL. Okay, so what is the Vz here? Given as 10 volts. 10 volts is your Vz. Okay, 10 volts into Rs plus RL, 100 plus 500 divided by 500. So 10 into 600 by 500. So 5 2s are. So Vs minimum is 12 volts. Okay, Vs maximum is Iz max into Rs plus Vz into Rs plus RL by RL. So if you replace, Iz max is 25 milliamperes into Rs is 100 ohms plus Vz is 10 volts into 100 plus 500 by 500. Okay, so already I think this portion is nothing but your Vs minimum, right? This portion is already your Vs minimum. This is nothing but your Vs minimum, so which we have already got it as 12 volts. Okay, so 25 into 10 power minus 3 into 100 plus 12. So it is 2.5 plus 12 is equal to 14.5 volts. Okay, with this we'll stop it here. We'll take the case 3, which is series resistance varying, in the upcoming class, with which we are going to end our first unit. Okay, so if you have any doubts you can ask me in the next 2 minutes, otherwise I'll end the class. Okay, and I will be going to upload the recorded video today, so you need not worry if you have not noted down anything. Okay.
Sir.
Yeah, tell me. ఎవరమ్మా ఇప్పుడు సార్ అని పిలిచారు? You can ask the doubt if you want. Please respond. Hello, am I audible? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, if you have any doubt, you can ask. Otherwise, I'll stop the class.
అంటే చాలా రకంగా రాస్తారు అంటే లేట్ ఆఫ్
Okay, you do not have any doubts? In that case, I'll end
No
the
doubt.
class. Okay, fine. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
Okay. Tell me, somebody
Sir.
is prompting. Yeah. Tell me. Ask me.
Sir, avalanche breakdown and Gino breakdown can be occurred simultaneously in the same diode, sir.
Avalanche, once it's already breakdown, there is no point of. So once it's already Gina breakdown, there is no question of again avalanche breakdown. Breakdown means that already your current is rising. So whether it is avalanche or Gina, already your diode is in breakdown, your current is going to steeply increase. Okay. So the Gina breakdown occurs usually in a special diodes where you have heavily doped concentrations. Okay. Or otherwise when the voltages are very high. Gina diode occurs at a very low voltage compared to that of an avalanche breakdown. Okay. So if you have any other doubts, you can post either in the Canvas discussion forum or in the WhatsApp group. Okay. Fine. Thank you.
సబ్మిట్ చేయండి నెక్స్ట్ వీక్ ఈఎంఎఫ్ క్లాస్
So small announcement. Are you still there in the class? So
Yes, sir.
so Patnaik sir has informed that there might be some extra classes in the next upcoming weeks, so that your syllabus will be completed. Okay. So same thing might happen with your ADC classes also. So instead of 3 hours, you may have 4 hours max, 4 or 5 hours max. Okay. So it will not be on every day, but if required, you may have extra classes. Okay, we'll intimate you at least a day ahead so that you will have your requirements will be in a proper place or not. You can ensure.
నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్కి వెళ్ళదా ఫస్ట్ యూనిట్ ఫస్ట్ కావాలి